Hello. Good morning. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing well. And welcome to the Gooner Talk. Hope you're doing oh man, I think I've still got a headache. I've still got a headache from yesterday, which is mad. Not a hangover headache at all, but just a stress and pressure on my brain headache. That's what I've got this morning. I'm so exhausted. I'm so exhausted, so full of energy still. Good morning in the chat box. Hope we're doing good. Hope you're doing well. Sorry if this is a little bit more. In fact, there was a comment on yesterday's video. If you haven't watched the reaction to yesterday's show, where have you been? There was a video that we did last night, and someone left a comment. I loved reading. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to find it quick enough. But basically, it was someone saying that I'm not used to this from Tom. Usually it's so buttoned up and professional. I'll try and find it at some point. But yeah, it's going to be more of that again this morning because I haven't got the energy. It's all the energy I do have. It's contained within me. But yeah, I don't have the energy to start shouting and screaming. My voice is still a little bit as you can probably hear, a little bit done, but it's not going to stop us. So if you could drop a like on the video and you could subscribe to the channel, I would appreciate that massively. Olu, good morning to you, to Mark, to Matt G, to Social. Good morning to everyone in the chat box. Yeah, Bradley, me too, mate. Don't have a voice. The voice is going. John T, Griffiny, Gustavo, Martin, Jermaine, Cena, Viraj. Good morning to all of you guys. Good morning to, who else have we got? Jermaine, Ali, Morgie, MFB, Mark. We've got Carl, Gooner Boy, Bobby. We've got Eamon. We've got Temi. Max Justin Player 1, Dave, we've got Dave Lennon, we've got Liam, we've got Afsar, Stevie, so many more of you guys too. Thank you so much for joining me as per. And oh, dearie me, it's just good to be an Arsenal fan, isn't it? It's just good. Feels good to be an Arsenal fan today. Anyway, let's crack on with the show. We've got a few things to discuss news-wise, and then we can talk more with you guys in the chat box. So first off, do go and subscribe to the Arsenal Way. They did a show afterwards as well, which I'm sure lots of you have already watched with Bailey and Hush or Bailey and Umar. So do make sure you go and give that a watch. I'll be live over there at 9:30 this morning with more reaction with me, Bailey, and maybe Chris this morning too. So do join us as we break that down even more than we did last night. Also, we start off with the news that Alexander Isak looks increasingly unlikely to be moving to Arsenal. Barcelona really are pushing. They see Isak as kind of the number one alternative to Erling Haaland should they not bring in the Norwegian striker. And that kind of sees Arsenal not pushed behind them, but I think Arsenal will probably look to sign someone else other than Isak, and Real Sociedad will be looking to get the absolute maximum. So there you go. I think that Isak will be a good player, but there are others out there I think that I would prefer to see Arsenal go for than the Swedish striker. Marco Asensio, though, is being linked with a move. Now, this is a really odd link, not because it's not been linked before, not because he's not a good player. He is, and he's certainly improving this season. When we talked about him last time, he was struggling a bit, but actually he's really turned a bit of a corner at Real Madrid. Would be worth around £30 million and would be reunited with Martin Odegaard, can play right wing, left wing, can play attacking midfield, as kind of your wide playmaker. Would certainly take over a role from most likely Pepe, to be honest. That's where I'm most likely him taking over that position. But Pepe was great last night, and if he plays like that for the rest of the season, we're not going to need to bring in anyone. We'll see what happens with him. But Asensio, fantastic stuff. I love the player, but I don't think it's going to happen. Anyway, Mikel Arteta spoke about the chance of Alexandre Lacazette getting a new contract, and he said he behaves like someone who wants to stay with us. We don't know what's going to happen at the end of the season. We don't have contracts that run for 20 years. It's our job. I can only praise him and try to help him. And that, to me, is one of the biggest indications that he is not going to be signing a new contract. I really can't see them committing to him signing a new deal, to be honest, at all. In fact, what I think will happen is that he'll just, he'll run down the deal. He'll leave in the summer, and we will thank him, and he'll get a big goodbye. Something that I tell you, Aubameyang didn't get, but Lacazette will, especially if we make top four in his contribution to this season. he will get a big and warm goodbye from everybody at Arsenal. So I look forward to that final game of the season. Fingers crossed we're in Europe already and we're in the Champions League already by that point, so we don't have the pressure of that final game. But Lacazette, I'm sure we'll get a very warm goodbye from the Arsenal crowd. That is for sure. I've put one more slide, which again is just the celebrations from last night, because I do want to go into your thoughts and feelings about yesterday. But there was a lot to discuss in the press conference yesterday that I didn't want to include all in one slide. So we're just going to quickly head over to the press conference and get some of the individual thoughts and words from the manager. But I won't bore you too much with this, but I do want to cover a couple of things. Talking specifically about the players' celebrations. And we know that Bruno Lage came out after the game and really did backtrack on a lot of his comments about celebrations, that's for sure. On the player celebrations, Arteta said, I am encouraged. I encourage them to celebrate every victory, because you can tell how difficult it is in this game to win football matches. Our supporters are the same. Every time we win, we should celebrate, because when you lose or draw, you know the faces are always sad. And this is what football's about. Football's about enjoying yourself. You watched last night's reaction of mine, the unbuttoned, unprofessional version, if you like, as someone in our comment section put yesterday. That's what football's about. It's about absolutely unleashing your emotion and enjoying supporting your team and hoping for the next win. Like, imagine if you are so invested in an agenda against the manager, against certain players, and we see it all over social media all the time, and we see it in my comment sections, and we see it in chat boxes when I go over to the Arsenal Lounge or Lee Judges from people that are blocked on this channel, that there is a real hatred towards Mikel Arteta and that they can't enjoy this win. I can enjoy it because I'm an Arsenal fan above anything else. And there's nothing that would make me stop supporting and stop loving this football team. And that's why you celebrate. And that's why you love the team, because you get to enjoy moments like this. Tomiyasu's injury, of course, Tomiyasu wasn't in the team yesterday. He says, yes, it was the other calf. So he came back and he was completely fine. And in training, he felt the other calf. So this is an issue because he's professional, who is giving absolutely everything to help us. And in the last few months, he's not been fit. I'm going to be having a chat with Dr. Raj Prabra. You probably follow him on social media. I'm going to be having a chat to him on the Arsenal Way this afternoon to get kind of a more insight into how calf injuries work and how when you injure one, it can often lead to the other one being injured too. So do join me with Dr. Raj Prabra, who is a professional physiotherapist and a specialist in this type of sporting injury. So look forward to having a chat with him a little bit later on. Asked about top four, he said it's pulled us a little bit closer. 1 game less than 3 points, 13 games to go, and now it's about Watford. I think it's about belief that we should keep playing the way that we are playing and keep insisting and have the resilience and the capacity to dominate matches like we are doing right now. And then that's the energy and synergy, good word, with our fans to create a special atmosphere. Why people don't want to come and play, where people don't want to come and play against Arsenal. Amazing stuff. I think that's the last thing I wanted to discuss. And yeah, Lacazette's performance and Pepe, actually, the last thing I want to talk about was Pepe. He says, I told you last week, I see a difference in Nico. I don't know. It's his energy, his happiness, his all-round play, how he's training. I was convinced that he could come in and do something for the team. And look, this is the thing, is that a lot of people say that Arteta hates Pepe, or Arteta's treatment of Pepe is unforgivable, which is ridiculous because, let's be real, Bukayo Saka has been fantastic. Nicolas Pepe has his struggles. He's had his granted criticisms. But when he comes in and has that impact and does what he did, that's all we want from him. We want that on a consistent basis. We want that week in, week out. We want that as much as feasibly possible. And look, if you can get him playing, he deserves to start and he deserves to play and he deserves to get his chance. But look, football is an accountability sport. And if you drop your performance, you should move out. There's a big argument to say that Pepe should start over Saka because Saka's performance dropped last night. Pepe stepped up and filled that void. And so arguably should start the next game. Anyway, let's jump into the chat box, see what you guys are saying and get a lot of your thoughts. It's not going to be too long of a show because, as I say, my voice is still just done. so done after last night. Anyway, let's go into the chat. Drinking. Still drinking. Oh. I can't. I'm so exhausted. Let's scroll up. Matt, thank you so much for the donation, mate. Really kind of you. Shout out to the home and away fans for keeping it loud wherever we play. That's one thing, is when we've struggled in games, you know, the fans have carried us through this season. They have been a different animal, and you're absolutely right, Matt, to give them a shout out, because they were fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. And I look forward to joining them as soon as feasibly blooming possible. I'm so gutted that I had COVID last week, so I couldn't go to the game, but hopefully, fingers crossed. That means I'm out the woods for quite a while at least, so should be able to go to one very, very soon. Let's see what questions we're asking. Peony Ween says, how stonewall was the penalty on Martinelli? Stonewall. Pretty stonewall. Pretty stonewall. Bobby says, well said, Tom. I never liked Rioch and never wanted Arteta, but I love my club and I love us winning. Doom and Gooner says, did Saka look a little more effective from the left after the switch? Has he maybe got a little stale from the right? A change-up may be good for him. I'm not sure. I think he works really well with Odegaard and Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu, of course, wasn't there, although Cedric had a really good game. Look, he's been playing pretty much week in, week out for the last, 3-4 months. He's always going to have a little bit of a dip. He's still 20 years of age. It's going to happen for these young players. He was still effective in certain periods, just consistently wasn't able to really get at it as much as possible. And if you think about it, that right-footed shot nearly won it as well. That he had, people kind of quickly forgot that he had that shot on his right foot. That was really solid. But maybe it's time. But if you remember back to last season when we had Pepe on the right and Saka on the left, it only started to get better when Pepe actually came out and Saka was playing on the right. So things do change very, very quickly. Viraj, Smith Rowe is ill, so it shouldn't be too serious. He should be back for the Watford game. So interesting to see if he starts. I actually would start him against Watford. I would. I don't think Martinelli came in and grabbed that opportunity. And I think now it's a contest between Saka, Pepe, and Smith Rowe as to who fits those two wide positions when we play Watford. It's going to be that's going to be interesting who he decides to go for. Adam says, Tom, how much is the alleged KT drop in performance due to Xhaka's new role? I think that Xhaka's new role has only been over the last couple of weeks. And actually, I thought Tierney had a big step up in his performance last week against Brentford. And that was a lot down to Smith Rowe's addition to the team. And I think when Smith Rowe's in the team, Kieran Tierney's performances step up. So that's another reason why, arguably, Smith Rowe should come back into the side. Carl, thank you so much, mate. Tom, could last night's show have been your best opening ever? I was laughing so much. You're half the platform on HI Station watching over my shoulder. Look, I kind of lost it, didn't I? I kind of lost it last night. It was just a good show. It was a good game. It was a good release of emotion. And I can be quite restrained on this channel, let's be real, and be as professional as possible. But look, sometimes you just need to let go. And I did. And it was enjoyable. And I paid for it. I'll tell you what, I absolutely paid for it in the evening because it was like my diaphragm was like aching from the amount of like built up shaking and energy that I had throughout the entire game that was just releasing. I felt achy all over after the game. But thank you, Carl. Really appreciate it. That's very kind of you. Alan says, Tom, do you think Xhaka is good in this new role than his defensive role? I think he has good offensive abilities. He just doesn't have the speed. And that's all. Look, speed is not necessary. I wrote about this yesterday when we're being linked with Tielemans and Ruben Neves and Fabian Ruiz, who are not quick players. It's not necessary to have speed and acceleration off the ball in that position if you've got someone like Partey behind you. I think that having someone with quickness of thought, quickness of acceleration when in possession, and good technical skill will upgrade on Xhaka. But what Xhaka did last night was alien. It was really alien to what we've come to expect from him. It was not a Xhaka performance that I'd seen before. He found a different level to his game, and I loved it. And it was great. And everyone on that pitch really did find another level, to be honest. To their game. Well, mostly everyone anyway. Let's scroll down a little bit more and go to Leon, who says, Tom, greetings from New Zealand. Greetings to you, mate. When we go to Shahart Lane, we should chant, how low can you go? How low can you go? Well, to be fair, Shahart Lane's not a thing anymore, but when we go to their new toilet bowl stadium, we can certainly sing that, that's for sure. Ian says, attacking wise, I think we're doing 70% things correctly. Just that quality on shots like Pepe's one yesterday, quality last night's pass, the quality decision making. What are your thoughts? Big win. Ian, yeah, I can't disagree with you. I think it's nearly there. I think we do lack that cutting edge, and I think that will come by the acquisition of a really top quality striker, and that will take our game to the next level. It would definitely push us forwards far more than we have been before. African Theory TV says, who was your man of the match? For me, it was Partey. He got the ball to the forwards and made a lot of interceptions and recoveries. It was Odegaard for me. And I know that people will say I'm biased because I absolutely love him. But Odegaard was brilliant. And his pass for Nketiah for the equaliser was the vision, the timing, the weight of that ball, to get it over the Wolves' defence and perfectly weighted. And there was a couple of chances where he really set through and he just kept us ticking over. And he's so important to how we play. 30 million quid. 30 million quid. It was Odegaard to me. Partey was great, but Odegaard was just on a different level once again. Absolutely insane. Vuk says, is the manager making all the players better? Not all of them, but quite a few of them. I think there are some players that still are. I think Tierney's stagnated a little bit. I think that he needs to find a different gear, a different level. But he's improved. Players like Ramsdale and White, since they've arrived at Arsenal. Gabriel's got better. Partey's finding his feet finally too. Xhaka's probably continued along the same lines, but I still think there's parts of his game that have got better. Smith Rowe, Saka, Odegaard, obviously. I think are players that have definitely improved. Pepe, no. Gabriel Martinelli, yes, has definitely improved too. There's lots of players that have improved. There are some that are still kind of carrying on a bit of a stagnated trend, but it's just great to see the players improving and us improving and getting better and seeing a defined style, which I think you can definitely see. You can see the way that we're trying to play. You can see that we're being so much more direct. It's just that final cutting edge that if we had that clear number 9 with all those characteristics that we're looking for, it would take that game to the next level. And that's what we need. And that's what we're desperately trying to find ultimately as well. Matt says, Tom, do you have any idea what the whole Wolves substitution debacle was? Was it just time wasting? Yeah, it was. Look, as far as I'm aware, they had Jimenez's number. That's what they gave to the fourth official. They tried to change the number to waste time. And simple as that. But unlucky guys, it didn't work. It didn't work. So lovely stuff. Lovely stuff indeed. Lucas says, Gabriel has made a lot of errors over the season. He's good 1v1, but decision-making and positioning is sometimes a bit worrying, and it's something that he will need to improve on. And look, he's still 23, 24 years of age. He's going to need to improve. He's still a young defender. He's still got a long way to learn, still got to make those improvements. I thought Tierney actually kind of sold him short a couple of times of his positioning, really left Gabriel exposed. And the mistake he made that led to the goal, he was on the right-hand side, and it was a blind pass that he shouldn't have done. Ben White should have been a little bit more alert as well, to be fair. Probably come closer to him to give him that bit much of support and close the gap between him and the pass that Hwang came in and intercepted. But yeah, he needs to improve. He has improved over his time at Arsenal, but there's still parts of his game, as we know, that do need to get better. That's for sure. I am going to end things there because my voice is just, and I need to save it for the Arsenal Way. If you want to carry on the conversation, you can join me at 9:30 a.m. this morning over on the Arsenal Way. Link is in the description. As always, make sure you're subscribed. Subscribe here and turn those notifications on as well, so you never miss a show. I'll also be live this evening on Lee Judges TV with Dan Potts and Harry and Lee and Sophie. So make sure that you come over there as well, because it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. And I want to see the TGT army in the chat box, because tell you what, can always get a lot of stick over there, as I can on a lot of other channels. So I want to see you guys show the love, show the support, and really rubbing it in, really rubbing that Arteta love in. That sounds weird. Anyway, we'll wrap things up there. Have a fantastic day, people. Enjoy your Friday. And as always, up the Arsenal.